In this video, I will walk you guys through all the trades for the first week of April 2024, and you guys will see in real time how I had a really bad and challenging start to the quarter, but I was able to recover, ending the week on a strong note. I actually forgot to turn on my camera for the first 2 days of this week, so you guys can see me doing voiceover instead. My first trade of the week was on Tesla. I was watching this stock for downside as it's been making this weird triangle on the 1-hour chart. I took it short on the second minute for opening range breakdown because we got rejected on the first minute. Took a few partials, but it eventually reversed on me. So overall, I made $300 on this trade and my risk was around $400. So less than our reward on this trade. Honestly, on this day, I was also watching Amazon and Google for upside and they both moved nicely. So I had a bit of FOMO as those were the trades to capitalize on, easily 4 to 5 hour trades each. After missing out on Tesla, I entered Amazon on this pullback. I knew it's a bit too extended and knowing the personality of this stock, it might not go for high of the day. So not a really good trade. It went against me on the next minute. I covered my position with a loss of $380, which was my risk on this trade. My next trade was on Google on this pullback. It failed to hold 154.5. So I covered my position losing $500, which was my risk on this trade again. But when it recovered and came back above 154.5, it was holding stronger than the market. I entered my position again. And when it failed to break high of the day, I covered my position with a profit of $600 and the risk was again $500. So a pretty choppy start to the quarter. Missed out on a few really good setups like Google and Amazon off the open and tried chasing both of these stocks by trading extended pullbacks. Overall made $37 on this day, but poor trading on my end. On Tuesday, I was watching Tesla as the main stock because they released delivery numbers which were lower than estimated. So the stock was gapping down. I bought puts on the second minute to catch the breakdown under 160, but it quickly reversed against me and I lost 1.7k on this trade in a matter of 2 minutes, which is a huge loss. I sized up a bit on this trade as it was a nice technical setup with news catalyst. The risk I was willing to put was around $1,000, but because the premiums were highly volatile due to the news and the gap down, I lost more than expected, part and parcel of trading options, especially at the market open and especially after the news catalyst. I still liked it for 165 rejection, so my next trade I took a small 10 contracts position sizing and plan was to add more if we eventually break down. It chopped around for a few minutes and then I covered it for another loss of $400, ending the day losing $2,000 in total. So 2 bad trading days to start the week and the second quarter of 2024. On Wednesday, I was watching Meta as the main stock because for the first 2 days of this week, it showed relative strength compared to the overall market. Even though the market was dropping, Meta was holding strong on the daily chart. Right at the market open, it broke 500 and I took my position with a stop under 499.5. It's very important to be quick with both profit taking and booking losses when trading the market open because the market can reverse anytime. You guys can see the microphone in front of my face because on this day we were actually trading on the voice chat with the community members. I logged in 50% of the position at 503, then it made a quick flag on the 1 minute chart and on the next high of the day I took a few more partials and held the last 5 contracts to see if we break 505. After a few minutes we got rejected right before 505 and I exited the remaining position, overall making around $1,500. The risk was approximately $1,000, so not a great trade, but had it broken 505, the reward would have easily been 2.5k. After Meta, I took 2 quick trades on AMD as it held stronger than the market. The position was making me a bit antsy as the tape was not too clean, so I just covered both the positions for almost break even. We were also approaching 10 AM and usually we see wild moves around that time due to the economic data, so I was not comfortable holding my position through that. My last trade of the day was on NVDA, which is arguably the best trade of the day. After 10 AM data, the market pushed higher and my plan was to take NVDA for 895 hold for 900 breakout. On this pullback, I took 2 contracts. I added 2 more contracts on the next candle and my stop was the bold dotted line, which on my chart is the prior day close right under 895. My risk on 4 contracts was around $250 as the premiums never went under 6.5 on the test of 895, but still giving it a bit more leverage to 6.3 with my entry at 6.8 average. I would have lost 200 on 4 contracts. Just before the break of high of the day, I took 50% out and then at the break of the prior day high, I took the rest of the position out, making $550 on this trade, which is close to 2.8 hour trade compared to 1.5 hour on my first trade. So yes, in theory, I made more money on my Meta trade, but NVIDIA was a much better trade when we look at risk to reward. Overall, on this day, I made $2,000. So we are back to break even for second quarter 2024. Thursday was a crazy day for the market. It had a bit choppy open, but the market sold off aggressively around 2 p.m. and you guys will see how I capitalized on that. My first trade of the day was on Netflix. It made a new 52-week high, so I entered my position, but honestly, it was a bad entry. A good entry would have been around 633, 634, but I entered around 636, and knowing the personality of this stock, the risk was not worth the reward. Soon after my entry, I realized that the risk is a lot more compared to the reward, so I covered 50% of my position for a measly 8% profit and the remaining for break even. The main reason for the exit was that even though the R-wall was high around 132%, but based on my experience with this stock, when it breaks a level, it needs to be supported by higher volume. But the R-wall just remained stagnant around 130% with really low volume on the 9:33 a.m. candle. So my gut told me to exit, which was the right decision as it sold off all the way to low of the day and dropped further to 620 when the market sold off later. My next trade was on NVDA for an opening range breakout. The entry was not so good, but the reward on this trade was still worth the risk. Had it broken 910, we would have easily seen 920 because we don't have any major levels between 910 and 920. I also took 10 contracts, so I managed my position nicely on this trade. However, it got rejected on the next minute itself, so I covered my position for a $400 loss. The potential profit was easily $2,000, so again, it was worth the reward, but still an okay trade overall. My next trade was on Meta. It made a new all-time high, but unfortunately, I missed the initial push towards the upside. This stock has been holding stronger than the market for this whole week. On this pullback to 520, we also had the VWAP right there, so I executed on this trade with a stop under 520, risking around $500 on 20 contracts. It got rejected just before high of the day, so I covered my position, making $600, so basically a 1.2 hour trade. Nothing was rolling for me on this day, so I decided to call it here. But something happened later in the afternoon and the market sold off aggressively. So I rarely trade after 11 a.m. By rare, I mean once or twice in a year, and this was that opportunity. So I was not even in front of my desk. I was playing my PS5. I was beating a few opponents in FC24. I got a few alerts on my phone from TradingView and CNBC that the market is selling off, and I saw that AMD is selling off aggressively. I have been tracking AMD, the gap fill play from 172 to 165 on the daily chart, and by the time I saw it, it was already near 172. So we had a major sell-off. I came back to my desk, I started tracking AMD for a good 15 to 20 minutes, and I saw that sellers are stacking up at 171. I took a quick scalp from 171 to around 169-ish with a stop loss right above the 1 minute high. So where I entered, my stop was right above that level. And if you look at the premiums, my risk was 15 cents on the premiums. I took 20 contracts, so my risk was $300, and I made close to around $950 on this trade. So that is approximately 3 to 4 hour trade, which is a really good trade overall. I know a few traders will be like, you should have held your position to catch the bottom of the market. Yes, I know. And to answer that question, I'm going to show you guys a screen recording of my trade on the same stock the next day itself on Friday, and how a stock can reverse aggressively at a critical level. So at the end of the day, what matters is having a good risk to reward trade. If I risk $500 and if I'm making $2,000, I don't care if I could have made $10,000. That was still a good trade. And overall, I made $1,600 on this day. On Friday, I was only watching AMD for a rip and dip setup. The market was way too extended towards the downside because of the sell-off we had the prior day. So I was expecting V reversals on this day, as traders who missed out on the move yesterday will try to chase the move, and smart money people know where they're going to enter, causing V reversals. This is exactly what I discussed in a pre-market webinar for our community members, and exactly what happened on this day. So my plan was to take AMD short from 168, 170 zone towards the prior day low. I doubt we are going to break the prior day low, as the FOMO traders will chase the breakdown and eventually cause a V reversal. So on this day, I waited patiently for the first 4 to 5 minutes, and I saw the sellers coming into the picture around 169 to 170 zone. You guys can see from this bookmap recording that we had a few buyers who tried to hold 169 but were not able to. Then we had big sellers at 169.5. So now we need to see what they do next. Do we get new buyers come into the picture to absorb those sellers, or do we get new sellers to drop it down to 165? Around 169, we first get big red dots. That means sellers are coming into the picture. That is very interesting. I don't want to see big red dots near high of the day when the technical pattern is looking bullish, meaning it's just to trap the retail technical traders. Then we have big green dots. That means bulls are buying, but there's no result. We did not even push above 169.5. Even after a lot of buying, the orders are being absorbed by the sellers. That means there are passive sellers sitting near 169.5. This means that the bulls are trying hard, but they are not even able to reach the wall. So I don't think they're going to break the wall, which is around 169.5. I entered my puts position here with the stop at 169.5, which is the wall of the sellers, and caught the whole push down back to prior day low. I covered my whole position near the prior day low, prior day close, close, which is around the same level. So this was my best trade of this week, honestly. As you guys can see, Bookmap personally helps me a lot with my momentum trading. So if you guys want to check it out, there will be an affiliate link in the description box below. Click on it and check out special offers for all the viewers of this channel. Now the retail technical traders again who missed the push down, try to execute on this pullback for 165 breakdown, and look what happened. They get stopped out again. And if you shorted to exit, you got to buy back your shares, which took the price all the way back to high of the day. Overall, I made $1,600 on this trade with the risk of around $400. So a nice 4-hour trade to end the week. Now I have a question for you guys, because I'm honestly thinking of doing daily trade recaps on this YouTube channel. So as soon as I'm done trading, I can just record a raw video and post it on YouTube. So for that, I will have to develop a process so that it's easier for me, because believe me, doing daily recaps, it's not easy. I have tried doing it. It's not easy, especially after a trading day. So I might do 3 days a week or every single day for the next 100 days, depending on your interest. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys would be interested in watching daily trade recaps on this YouTube channel. And while you are posting your comment, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, give me a follow. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.